To start talking? Oh, okay. Okay. Dang, look, I ain't started nothing talking about already. Hey, y'all.
What up, y'all?
Welcome to the Truth Be Told with myself, TbeyB, and Miss Carmen DeLibra.
Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all.
This is the Truth Be Told. It is Tuesday, 6 o'clock on a Tuesday. It's the Truth Be Told. If you have a business or an event that you would like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure to send us a. Okay, I'm sorry. Look, it didn't seem like I could see the voice. Make sure to send us an email at kuaw985@gmail.com. If you are watching me live and you like to, or listening to me via Periscope or Twitch, and you'll like to watch me live, hop over to our Facebook page, KUAW Radio. Watch us live, as well if you like to just listen in, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube Live, Instagram Live, tune in at we are on Texas 101 Jams, as well as KUAW Radio. Make sure to go like, subscribe to those pages, and share them with your family and friends so that they have access to all the great content that we have here on both radio stations. And if you're in the music and you would like your music played on Texas 101 Jams, make sure to shoot us a DM, Texas 101 Jams, on Instagram, all platforms. Yes. Okay. So before we get into the nitty gritty of the things, we gotta talk sports.
How about them Cowboys? We made it to the playoffs, y'all. They said we couldn't do it.
Y'all made it to the playoffs and won the first round of the playoffs. I'm like, okay, Cowboys, I see y'all trying to be up in that thing. I'm down for a Chiefs Cowboys Super Bowl.
That would be cool.
That would be dope.
I don't know how our friendship will last after that, but I'm just kidding. I would still love you. I just ain't gonna talk to you for a week
after y'all lose, because you know y'all gonna lose.
we lose to the Chiefs. I can't lie. That's a good
Listen, they thinking that y'all not gonna get past the 49ers though. So we gonna see what happens this weekend. I'm excited because the Chiefs play this weekend. I feel like I've been missing out. I'm definitely going to watch the game somewhere this week. So if y'all in Houston and y'all Chiefs fan, let me know where y'all at so we can pull up, watch the game on Saturday. You know what I'm talking about? I might be in Dallas though. So if you're in Dallas, let me know too.
You'll be in Dallas watching the Chiefs game.
I might be in Dallas.
All my cousins are Niners fans because they're all out in San Francisco. I literally just left all them crazy people. So
I know they hyped. They won. San Francisco a good squad. I mean, I don't care who comes, because as long as y'all know y'all playing the Chiefs, and that's where the road ends. Now let me quit talking stuff before we
what's that song that's going all over TikTok with the little boy singing, I'm not gonna get too cocky.
Right. You gotta not get too cocky on it or not. So I ain't really been watching the news. So I don't know if it was anything in the news per se that was worthy, truth be told, worthy. But it is a couple of things that I want to talk about. So yesterday we observed Martin Luther King Day. And a lot of people think, well, yesterday was his actual birthday. Is his birthday the 15th or the 16th? Okay, so it was Sunday.
But his day Monday is the 16th.
Yeah. So I observed Martin Luther King's birthday, and I've seen a couple of conversations, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you got the what they call overly woke folks, you know, and then, you know, and then, you know, just people, period. And, you know, don't get me wrong. Oh, did you see the statue first? Okay, let's talk about the statue.
It looks like somebody's holding a penis, but Sorry.
It's been so many memes about this statue of Martin Luther King. I'm like, who approved this statue? Like, who said that this is what we needed?
Some non-melanated people.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who said that this is what we needed? This is what we wanted. Like, I don't understand why people are it's like people are always doing stuff or whatever, and nobody ever asks our input of what it is that we actually want or we actually need, you know. And it's just really sad, you know what I'm saying, that we gotta go through these things, and then I thought this was on. Okay. And then we gotta go through those things and everything like that. Yeah. Now y'all know me. I am not a big observer of holidays.
Right.
And it really bothers me that we feel what's the word? I don't know. We get a kick out of, you know, we got these days, like we got Martin Luther King Day, we got Juneteenth, and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. And then, no, you know what really was killing me was like hearing people, you know, ask about Martin Luther King and everything like that, like why we celebrate it, kind of like how that girl just did or whatever that was on the TikTok. And why do they keep coming on? Well, here's the thing. And well, like a lot of people say, you know, he died for us to live the way that we're living now, you know. And one thing about it is the fact to even say he died bothers me. He didn't just die.
He was murdered.
He was murdered. You know what I'm saying? They murdered him. You know, like they murdered him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then they murdered him and then told us to go celebrate the fact that they took him away from us.
I don't think that that's really what we're celebrating. No, I think it's more we're celebrating the person and his accomplishments, like in what he stood for. I think it's more of that, even though, you know, we know this country is full of crap, but you know, I do think it's more of a like we're recognizing what he's done. I do, however, wish there was a Malcolm X Day because he did a lot as well. I wish there was a Rosa Parks Day. I wish there was a Shirley Chisholm Day, instead of just putting all those people into a month and in the shortest month of the year. So
but yeah, I guess we'll get into that in a couple of weeks.
Where's the Black Panther Day?
Y'all know how I feel about Black History Month, but we get into it.
I feel like we shouldn't. Okay, can I just say one thing about it though? What? I really feel like it shouldn't be a Black History Month because our history is still American history. Like we are history. So why do we have to have a month? Why is it not being put in there within the school curriculum? The way we learn about the Revolution and the French Revolution and the Spanish War and the you know, the Texas and Spanish War when they had all that. Like why is it not getting sprinkled in there?
Right.
Why aren't these people being sprinkled in? I mean, not sprinkled, but why is it just not with it? Like it happened.
Like why y'all just don't tell it how it is,
right? It's American history.
How it happened. Yeah, because it's American history. My thing with Black History Month is that it's always just about slavery.
Yeah, that too, because they're not like, teaching Mansa Musa.
Yeah, they're not teaching Mansa Musa.
They're not teaching Hannibal.
Yeah, they're not teaching Othello. They're not teaching
those.
No, they're not teaching the people that were before. They weren't teaching the astrologers and the people that made the map and paved the roads and took the people and took Europe out of the European Dark Ages. Or, you know what I'm saying? Anything like that. They're not talking about any of that. It's just all slavery. You know what I'm
saying?
They
literally will teach our children that we come from slavery. That's why it's so important that we teach our history to our children at home.
Right. Oh, thank you. But right, for sure, because it's like if we don't, where are they gonna get it from? Where they gonna get it from if we don't I should wave at people.
I do, just because they come in just to show that I acknowledge them.
I can't even. I'm so far away.
I'm so
there we go.
I have little arms.
I know, I'm so short. It's ridiculous. Okay, but yeah, so it's like they just started as slavery and things like that, and and I guess that's kind of what bothers me with all these days that they give us too, because it kind of hammers in again the ideal of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Because again, don't nobody pre-slavery got no days.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And then Juneteenth is the whole thing about slavery. Thank you for stop. Right. Thank you for stop lying to us and letting us be free how we were supposed to be free, like, you know, years ago or whatever. But
see, they didn't give us that holiday. We gave ourselves that holiday. They just made it in like, because we always
they made it federal.
Right. Yeah, they
get paid for it now.
Yeah, they made it, you know, for everybody. But for the longest, like, people didn't know about Juneteenth just in Texas, you know? So we've been celebrating Juneteenth. We've been having these celebrations even before it was a federal holiday. So I love Juneteenth. That's what I celebrate. I don't celebrate 4th of July. Like, you'll never see me in red, white, and blue waving the flag. I'm not happy 4th of July. Like, Juneteenth, though, you will see me in that green, red, and black.
Yeah.
But that's more of like a us thing, and I think that's why I love Juneteenth, because it's something we gave ourselves, because they weren't going to give us that.
Yeah, but shoot, then they gave it to everybody. Now everybody get a free paid holiday.
Yeah, and that's
and they ain't got nothing to do with them.
Yeah, that's the second part.
You know, I was at a bar yesterday. They had free they had free beer for an hour in dedication to Martin Luther King.
Ghetto. You know what else? Those flyers for the parties.
Yeah.
Like, come on, y'all. Like, why does MLK have a grill? Like,
man, 6 people got shot at the Martin Luther King parade in Florida.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I was like, dang, we sit up here, a man that was nonviolent, peace. We supposed to be celebrating and observing what he stood for. I'm not gonna necessarily say what he did, because
that's his business.
You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't talking about cheating and stuff like that, but you know, I ain't too big on integration. So, you know, like what he did and everything like that. But he did stand for something. He did reach a masses of people. He touched the masses of people. And he also woke up, though. And that's what a lot of people don't know. Towards the end of Martin Luther King's life, he was going back on a lot of things that he was saying at first, because he was admitting that he was under. It's like that. It was like he took a pilgrimage and came back enlightened, just like Malcolm X. They did with the Nation of Islam.
They actually, like, I wish we could know what the conversation was about when they had that conversation. Nobody knows what they talked about. Malcolm and Martin.
Malcolm and Martin.
Nobody knows what that conversation was about, but you see the picture. It's a very famous picture. But I wish we could know. There was an episode of A Different World where the teacher had them Jennifer Lewis played the teacher, and she had them reenact what they did. It was a really good episode. Y'all should look that up if you don't, but I would love to know what that conversation was about. And I noticed that they kind of rubbed off on each other after a while. Malcolm wasn't as and then Malcolm was, and Martin got a little bit more. So they kind of balanced each other out a little bit. Yeah, it's literally like balancing. It was like a yin like a yin and a yang. Yeah,
because if they would have been together,
that would have been
working together. That would have been powerful, unstoppable. Like that would have been real powerful if they would have been together, you know, and working together instead of people were trying to paint them against each other. But yeah, it's just a lot of things, you know. That's why they killed Martin Luther King, though, because he was starting to wake up and he was starting to preach a different tune. And then they didn't like what the new stuff that he was saying. They didn't like that. So you know what I'm saying? So that's why we get into the thing we had this day or whatever. But shout out to Martin Luther King. I hope everybody had a great Martin Luther King Day, whether you was at work, at home, whatever. You got the day off. If you went out to the parade, I hope you enjoyed the parade, whatever it was in your city. Oh, well, okay. So before we go to the next thing, why you think Martin Luther King is like the unsafest street in every city?
You know why. And y'all know why too. You know why.
Like, no matter what city you go in, Martin Luther King, don't nobody go to Martin Luther King but Martin Luther King. Yeah. Like, hey, I'm good on MLK too. Just to believe that. But nah, we stupid. No, but okay, and so then another thing that I wanted to talk about was, of course, Joe Biden.
What happened?
But one shout out to Jill, and I'm glad she didn't have cancer. She went in for cancer treatments.
I like Jilly. Is she from Philly too? Jilly from Philly? I know Jill Scott's from Philly.
Oh, I'm talking about Jill Biden.
I know.
Is she from Philly
I'm
too?
talking about Jill. I thought she was from Philly.
She might be. I don't know.
She down for her husband, ain't she?
Yes. But so everybody's been talking. They've been talking about him. They have proposed a bill to abolish the IRS. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about it.
Look, I'm down.
Okay.
I gotta do some research about this. I did not hear about this, but like I said, I've been ignoring government news.
Yes, I wish my pad was open so I could pull it up so I could actually read it. That's what's
and I didn't bring my Mac with me.
Oh, you know what? But yeah, so we can see exactly what the bill says, but it's a bill to abolish the IRS. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but a lot of people don't know that the IRS is voluntary. Like you pay income tax voluntarily. That's why people get excited about income tax return, because they're just taking the money that they borrow for you to make compound interest throughout the whole year and just giving you back your money after they kept what they made. And a lot of people don't know that the IRS is a publicly traded company. It's not a federal entity. Okay. You see it? Mm-hmm. What does it say?
So on Monday, House Republicans passed a bill to strip the IRS of much of the extra $80 billion in funding for enforcement enacted last year by Democrats' Inflation Reduction Act. So the Democrats were trying to reduce inflation.
Mm-hmm. They shall need to, because eggs is hot.
Bruh.
Inflation's kicking people butt right now.
Although the bill is not expected to advance to the Senate, which is still controlled by Democrats, on Tuesday, Representative Earl L. Buddy Carter, Republican, Georgia, introduced H.R. 25, the Fair Tax Act, to replace the current tax code with a national consumption known as the fair tax. So whatever that means. We're gonna have to look that up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a simplified version of that, just because the wording is like, I know what words mean, trust me, I read, but it's just when they word stuff and it's too wordy, it's like you could have simplified that for the masses or whatever.
But you know how many people is not gonna like that? Because you know how many people love income tax time? And I really don't be understanding like why. Yeah, it's like, why? Why do you want to give them your money for them to make compound interest off of, and then just pay you back crumbs of what they made?
Well, I can't speak on it too much because I'm not very informed on that situation. I always just pay my taxes through my paycheck.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, I would not pay them.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they take enough tax out already. I'm paying.
You pay taxes on everything.
Yeah, I pay for stuff that I don't even have. So
it should be illegal the way they double tax us for everything. You pay taxes on your car, you pay property tax, you pay sales tax. Mm-hmm. Anytime you go buy something, you're paying sales tax, which most time that's to the state. Mm-hmm. But we pay taxes on everything, and then you got income tax or whatever. Now, income tax originally they were only allowed to have income tax when the country was at war. Mm-hmm. That's originally how income tax started. And then they started getting greedy, and then they try to make it all year round type thing. And then it wasn't whether it was at war or not. And y'all can look that up. I forget the year, but I've looked it up before because I really haven't paid taxes in a long time. Not even when I had a job. I always filed exempt. I know they used to call me down to the office. My HR manager used to call me down to the office because she was like, "You're the only employee here that files exempt." Wow. And I'm going to keep filing exempt. And I'm not going to change it. And if you change it, I'm going to sue you. Like, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody be like, okay, well, what about like tax evasion with like Wesley Snipes and Ron Isley? You hear all these celebrities that get going to jail for tax evasion and everything like that. But what they don't tell you about that is that when they get audited, those taxes that they were supposed to be paying is on international revenue. Here's the thing. International revenue, you have to pay taxes on. If you are a United States citizen and you make revenue in another country and you bring it back to the United States, you have to pay taxes on it. That is a law. You know what I'm saying? That's a law. That's why they get audited and go to jail, because that's the tax evasion part of it. It's not domestic money. So like me and you, they're not going to audit me and take me to jail because I ain't filed taxes in 7 years. They're not going to do that. They can't.
I guess because they have music, that makes sense, and their music is being played all over.
Wesley Snipes make movies.
And movies
in other countries. Yeah. Like
that makes sense.
Like that's what they don't tell you. They don't go deeper into the audit, or you don't go deeper into the audit to see what actually they got audited for, what they actually went to jail for. We just on the surface like, oh, they went to jail for $10,000 worth of tax evasion. It
That's
don't
not
work
a lot
like
of money,
that.
though, not for them.
Exactly.
And if that was the case, they could just pay it and be like, okay, I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, and it might be more than that. I'm just saying a number.
Okay.
I don't know the exact number. I forget what it was. I know it was a big deal when it happened to Wesley Snipes.
I remember that.
I don't know. I don't know how big of a number it actually was, but it's really just education. You know what I'm saying? We don't look into these laws. We don't look into these tax laws. We don't look into what we're actually supposed to be paying and what we're not supposed to be paying. See, I'm down for state taxes. I don't have no problem paying state taxes.
I live here.
One of the reasons I moved to Texas, because
Right.
Texas don't have one. But if they did, like, I wouldn't have no problem paying state taxes. And the reason that is because I use this state. I'm driving on these roads. I don't want these potholes, even though they don't use the money for what it's supposed to be used for. But at the end of the day, I don't want these streets catered with potholes and tearing up my car and all kind of stuff like that or whatever. And we use state services. So that we should pay for. Hey, true. So we should pay for, you know what I'm saying, our state taxes and everything like that or whatever.
And do your census.
So real quick, while I seen True hop on here or whatever, shout out to True Life Insurance Company, because PNB rock. Baby, we're gonna talk about this for this last 10 minutes before we get into the next half. But PNB Rock's girlfriend came on talking about how he didn't have a will and trust, how he didn't have life insurance.
I thought about you when I saw that too. I was like, oh, yes.
How he didn't have life insurance. He didn't have a will and trust. He didn't and she said because we're young, we don't think about death.
And that's very true though.
It is true.
It is true. We don't think about that.
We don't think about death.
But when I was young, I was like, I'm gonna live forever.
But this is what I tell people. It's called life insurance. It's not called death insurance. It's a life insurance policy that has a death clause with it. If you don't use your life insurance policy during your life and then you die and then your beneficiary, it gets paid out. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it is. If you don't want to think about how it works like that, does work like that. You should have a whole life insurance policy on your children. So by the time they turn 18, they can pull $30,000 from this life insurance policy and put a down payment on a house. See, our counterparts, Europeans, they use life insurance as their personal bank. Their own personal bank. They put their money in there. True tell you they making compound interest, running it up. It's a thing to where they can use it in certain stages of their life. So when they ready to go buy a house, they got that down payment. They want to go buy a new car. They can go get the money to go get that car. They don't have to finance it. They don't have to make a loan for it. They don't have to do all these type of things or whatever because it's already been set up. Right. Exactly. So you shouldn't think that, oh, I'm not going to die soon, so I don't need no life insurance. That's not how it works. That's not what it's for.
But just like you said earlier, this comes with education.
Yes.
And this is why we need more people like you that's teaching this.
Yes.
So go ahead and plug your business real quick.
No, I mean, I don't do life insurance.
I know, but you do the will and trust and stuff. You educate.
Oh, yeah, I definitely do the will and trust. I definitely do the will and trust and credit, just financial literacy, period. So yeah, I definitely can follow me on my Instagram, my business page and everything like that if you want to talk about it or just see the tips and stuff that we pull on there. But I'm just tired of seeing our people with GoFundMe and things like that. AJ Jackson, the guy from Friday, he did the same thing. He died. He didn't have no life insurance policy. You would think these people were out here broke. These are people that make millions of dollars and they don't even have life insurance policy to protect themselves or their children.
Chris Fit Experience says life insurance over dinner plates. Families struggle to give you a proper funeral. So for sure,
GoFundMe, selling plates, fish fries, everything. Like
Drew says, I help educate on life insurance. Tap in with me. Y'all make sure.
Oh yeah, he is a life insurance agency licensed in several different states. So definitely hit him up and follow him.
Yeah, it's at 10 True. 10 TRU.
But yeah, so it's like, when are we gonna wake up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To the point where we start putting ourselves in a position to pass on generational wealth. Right. Because insurance also is generational wealth.
Right.
Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a granny. My granny was 98 years old. You know what I'm saying? She lived a good life. she also had insurance when she passed away. There's an inheritance that comes down with that. And it ain't just her children, her grandchildren, her great-great-grand. It was laid out. It went down a couple of generations. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And it was out there. It might have been $1,000, $2,000 you a great-grandchild, you know, and it probably got less and less as the generational tree got down. But at the same time, it was there.
And it's also our responsibility to keep that up. Like,
yes.
You can't depend on grandma and grandma, you know, for your wealth. Like, you know, the parent, you know, goes to grandma and great grandma goes to grandma, then goes to mama and goes to, you know, you have to keep going. That's how you build it. And that's what, like you said, our counterparts do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
And that's why there is this wealth gap the way it is.
Something is better than nothing. Something is always better than nothing. For sure. It's definitely always better than nothing. And then you think, oh, a lot of people just, oh, I got insurance through my job. Well, you be paying into that insurance policy at your job. You're paying into that. You're paying into that. Then now lose your job or quit your job. Now what?
You have nothing.
You have nothing
for another 30 days.
I wouldn't even have life insurance through my job. I have my own. There's no point of having paying into a life insurance policy for your job if you don't plan on retiring from that job, or if you don't plan. I mean, even though because when you retire, what do you do? I don't know if you keep the life insurance from your job. Bless you. Sorry. I don't know if you keep the life insurance from your job. Once you retire, something you've been paying into that whole time or whatever. I'm gonna have to look into that, because I don't know what happens to that when you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have to do some research.
Because it's like, why even pay that? Why even have that coming out your check or anything like that when you can take that money and put it into a private personal? Now that's group term. Once you leave, the group is over. Exactly. So whether you retire or anything, you know what I'm saying, once you leave, it's over. So at the end of the day, it's like, I'd rather not let them take that money out my check unless they're gonna give me some free insurance, because they do offer a free insurance type thing or whatever.
Our insurance expert here says only reason you should get life insurance at your job is if you do not qualify for a private plan.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And that makes sense. That for sure makes sense. If you can't qualify for a plan on your own, because now if you ever had COVID, it's hard for you to get life insurance.
If you are a smoker.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say, even though they say, are you a smoker? A lot of people like, no. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
they like COVID, tobacco.
Your medical history though, your medical history, they can pull that up. I think it's probably a way that they could find out with, because I know if you had COVID, that's one of the big things with insurance agencies now.
Can they look that up though? Question, because you know how
HIPAA,
yeah. So I was like, that's confidential if you went to the hospital for
it. Yeah, so maybe they can't look it up.
HIPAA can't go. Yeah,
they can't expose it. They can't tell nobody that.
So now, if you disclose that's on you, and that's not smart.
But if you disclose that information.
If you disclose that information, like, yeah, I had COVID 4 times. Like,
yeah,
they're gonna be like,
but that's because you don't know that they asking you that to disqualify you.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of factors.
He said, Medical Information Bureau.
Oh, okay, so that's something I didn't know about. Just tell me something. I'll look it up too and do my research on it. But I know with me having asthma and there was other things, factors with that high cholesterol. It's hereditary for me though. I've always had high cholesterol. I've never not had high cholesterol, to be honest. High blood pressure is another one I have. I've never not had a high blood pressure. I've had it since I was 10. So you have to disclose it though. They can see, just to be honest up front just be honest
with your agent. Yeah. Cause see, I got sickle cell trait. So I
I was gonna ask about that, about how that works.
Now see, here's the thing with me though. Normally the trait is not the disease. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the full-blown disease, and they don't treat it like the full-blown disease, because when you have the trait, you're supposed to just be a carrier. Which meaning your children, if you mess with somebody else that has sickle cell trait, then your children are more likely to have sickle cell. So you got to get that tested when you partnering with people or whatever, especially when you have sickle cell trait, to make sure they don't have a sickle cell trait, so that you don't have a baby with sickle cell.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have to get testing. Well, I got tested before because my mom and her cancer, breast cancer, and now my dad having cancer. So both parents have cancer. So I have to get tested, often, just to see, because it's likely that I could, both parents have cancer.
Dementia. My grandma's had dementia.
Right.
But yeah, so with the trait, but see, with me, I actually get the symptoms of sickle cell with the trait. It's very rare that it happens, but I've been established like that since I was 17.
Right.
So since I had my first pain crisis. So I was 17 when I had my first pain crisis. Yep, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. My dad we could figure out what was going on with me. But yeah, so you do have to, that stuff is important, but it just broke my heart when I seen that, because I just think about how these people are dying so young, right. You know, and it's like they have children, they in these positions where they making millions and millions of dollars, you know, and yet they don't have themselves set up to pass these things on to their children, you know, and it's like now they're out there stuck. You know what they supposed to do. Now you ain't got a daddy. Now you ain't got a source of income that was taking care of you. Now you ain't got, you know, now the mother, whoever's left, whether it be the mother or the father, has to figure out how to support you on their own. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't responsible enough to leave anything behind. Of that,
where does his money go now?
Probably to the record label.
That's crazy.
I know when you, I know your bank account, if you don't have no one, if you don't have it written like a beneficiary for your bank account, then if you die, the bank just gets to keep your money. Oh, they have to probate it. If they got enough money to take it to court, that costs money too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that costs money too. And so but for definitely bank accounts, the judge can't decide, because that's what happened with Chad Boswick.
Oh, Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. That's what happened to him, because they had to go through the courts, and so his wife got a certain amount, his estate or family got a certain amount, then the government got the rest, because the government gonna take their part. So okay, I gotta go on break. This one I know on here. We got to take a short break. I ask that you guys bear with us. Take this time to like this video, share this video with your family and friends, share this video with your Instagram.
Engage.
Engage with us, like, share, so that they can tune in to the second half of the show, and we will be right back.
All right. We got 3 mil, lawyers for like 1 mil, government got 1 mil.
Yeah, so they righty, and we are back. Okay, here we go. Now we back. Okay, and we are back. I was talking about this radio station. Y'all know I'm on 2 different radio stations at the same time. You know what I'm saying? At the same day. No, just playing. Well, anyway, so okay. So second half, if you guys didn't tune into the first half, make sure you go back and watch it. After this video, you can always go back and watch it. Appreciate you guys taking the time to bear with us to let us pay our bills. Again, if you got a business or an event that you would like sponsored on KUAW, definitely email us at KUAW985@gmail.com. If you have some music that you would like played on Texas 101 Jams, make sure to DM us at Texas 101 Jams across all platforms. You can find us underneath those names. Make sure again to like, share, and subscribe to those pages wherever you get your listening pleasure from, so that you can tap in with us and all the great content that we have here on KUAW, as well as Texas 101 Jams. DJ Wired Up was on Texas 101 Jams earlier today. Right. So make sure y'all follow Texas 101 Jams page. All righty. So, second half of the show, y'all know we got a relationship topic to talk about with y'all. So we're gonna talk about. Did you see my post with the I kind of did. I reposted it. Okay. I hate when my stuff is not working because I can't read it. Dang, because I can't get on this. I wanted to read the comment that the man has said on there. So the subject was, what does it mean when a woman takes you on a date and pays for everything? And it's so crazy because I was talking about this last night in a bar, and a guy next to me, he was 48 years old, and he was like, in all my years of dating, a woman has never took me on a date and paid for it. And I was like, really? Like, a woman has never took you on a date and paid for it? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's going on here, right? But
she must have not liked you that much.
And is it that, or do we have, I feel like we have different standards. We expect men to take us on a date and pay for it and be chivalrous and open doors and everything like that. Like, we expect that because that's what we have been taught is what a man is supposed to do. You know, they said that it's not a woman's role. So for a woman to take a man on a date, I feel like sometimes most women feel like they have to be their man for them to spend money on them. What you think?
Yeah, because guys be like, you're not even my girl. You know, guys don't be really wanting to take girls on dates like that anymore. It's a vicious cycle. So my thing about this is I will take a guy on a date, but not initially. Like, because I feel like melanated women, because I can't say that word you be saying, but like, we're the only ones expected to come 50-50 in a relationship. Non-melanated women are not. Hispanic women are not. Asian women are not.
Right. They get
and then they get mad when they get called submissive. But you are wanting us to come 50-50, and then you get mad when we're not as submissive as those other race of women. You know what I'm saying? So again, you know how we always say it's a vicious cycle? It really is a vicious cycle. Now, I do believe that if you are, I mean, I don't mind going out. I'll take a guy out on a date, especially if I pursued you. That's just me. I guess I'm a new age woman or whatever. But but I will, if I like you enough, I'll be like, I'll take you on a date if I like you enough. Though. You know, it's not just like, oh, I thought you were cute, I got your number, and now I'm gonna take you on a date. It's not that for me. But you know,
see if I could pull this up.
And it might be a double standard, but we have to be real and just admit that there are some double standards, and that's just life.
Yes, for sure, because there's definitely a lot of double standards that
because you know, we won't pump gas if we have a man.
Girl, I hate pumping gas.
We won't go and repair our cars if we don't have a man.
I don't feel like I should have to.
Right, but we have to sometimes. But you know, your daddy taught you just like me, you don't touch doors.
For sure. Like not a door should never touch a door. I really wish this would pull up so I could read it.
And then it's like
it's not enough charge for it to work. I gotta make sure my iPad is charged the next time, y'all, because I got all these devices going and I can't look up what I'm trying to look up.
Well, let's hear from y'all. What y'all think? Y'all know
ain't nobody on
there. I'm gonna cut it off and cut it back on again. Y'all gonna talk to me today. I want to know what you think.
And I wish I could just make it go down so I could pull up my what's the name? Oh, you know what? I might could pull it up.
Nobody watching me anyway.
You can't gonna be able to see it because it's gone.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's in your archive.
I don't feel like looking at it, but I was trying to. Oh, you know what? I'm steady looking at my phone. It might be in my photos, to be honest, because I really want to read y'all what this man said. What he said about it, because what he said about it was, you know, it was
insightful.
Yeah, I couldn't even bring it up now. This ain't even updated, so no, that ain't even the way in the photos. Let me see. Oh, because my phone not on. But okay, so since I can't pull this up, I mean, ain't nobody on mine. I'm turning mine off. So I can look at it. Cause listen, I want to get
talking about women taking men on dates. Oh, just shaking the table. Okay. You see how I shook the tables because it ain't natural.
You said it's not natural.
The Lord saying that's not natural. That's
now wait till you see. Wait till you see what this man said about it, though.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, I don't mind. Again, I don't mind if I have it, but I mean, I just feel like the first date.
Yeah, it's like we got certain conditions
right
on our stuff. What was yesterday? Oh, what is
yesterday was the 16th.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, so it says this is a man's opinion, right? This is a man's comment of what he said. If a woman take you out on a date and pays for everything, what does it mean? He said that means that's a woman who is highly interested and highly invested in you, which that's what we said. Plus, she has no problem letting you know she is financially stable enough to reciprocate anything that you do for her financially. That's one of the characteristics that will let you know that she's not selfish and she's nurturing, loving, and giving. The goal is to always date a woman like that who is equally yoked. There go that equally yoked again.
But see, that's what I'm saying. They say that, and then because I've tried to take guys on dates before. Like I've taken a guy on a date before. And like as soon as, or when I go out on dates with guys, if I pull my wallet out, he's like, put that away. I can pay. I don't want no woman paying for me. And so it's like, which one do you want?
Right, because you do have men like that. Yeah, you do have men that will not let you pay for a meal. You know,
and get mad at
you. They get mad. Yeah, they feel like
you're trying to be the man.
Yeah, like you're trying to demasculate them, or you know what I'm saying, something like that too. So that's another thing that I guess you got to worry about when doing things like that for people too. And I guess it's knowing who you're doing it for.
Yeah.
And the reason behind who you're doing it. But I definitely don't think that women should have the ideal that it should just be us. Like we should just be the ones getting taken on dates, especially in this day and age, because another thing that I've seen about a man that they seen this man talk about how men have to suffer in silence. And I do feel like men are, because we used to do this thing on Clubhouse, and it used to be called the men's round table or something like that, and it had a panel of men, you know what I'm saying, and they really didn't let women talk until it was like a certain time. Then women can come in and say some things like that, but it was really for men. And they were just saying like how they have to suffer in silence because they don't have no one to talk to or vent to or support or anything like that when they go through so much in the world, from their own people, from people trying to oppress them, people trying to kill them outside in the world, like everything, the stresses of everything that they go through just being an Asiatic man day in and day out. They don't have no one to come back and basically dump on.
And this is why we need more melanated male therapists. Because men don't.
And that's if they believe in therapy, because some men think therapy is soft.
And it's not. And see, that's the thing. That's what we're teaching, this toxic masculinity. Like you have to stop that. If you have a son, especially if you have a melanated son, you need to make sure that it's a safe space. Like when he comes home, if he's upset about something and he cries, stop punching him in the chest and telling him to man up. Stop that, because it's toxic.
I used to hate when they be telling little boys don't cry.
Yeah, boys don't cry. You can cry, and it's okay. It's okay to show emotion. Now, it's not okay to treat people bad because you have these emotions, but it is okay to show emotion. And I'm letting y'all know right now, melanated men, you're safe with me.
Yeah. But and see, then that's another thing too. Sometimes they don't feel safe with their own women because our women are the type of women, once we get an attitude, oh, your mouth gonna pop off and you gonna say whatever. And so once a man feels like he can be vulnerable with you enough to trust you enough to be vulnerable with you, but then when you get mad, you throw it up in his face, he ain't never gonna tell you nothing again. He's not gonna feel safe with you anymore.
Right.
You know, he's not gonna feel safe with you. And that's what I be telling him. I was like, I told him, I said, the problem is men are out here and they're chasing the wrong type of women.
Yeah.
They're chasing the woman that's shaking her booty. She got that BBL. She all on the want to be Instagram model. She's showing everything. She said face full of makeup, 40-inch bust down all the way to her booty. You know what I'm saying? Dress where you can see dang near everything. They wear lingerie with sneakers now.
Yeah.
Like what? But this is what they have been programmed to go after. This is what they see on social media. They succumb to their, I call it their lower self, but a lot of people say lustful self. Like lust, it's lust of the carnal, you know, and they say, well, that's how men are made. That's what men are. No, they not. Like if you sit up there actually waiting for a quality woman that will be there, that's like your yin to your yang type thing, that you are comfortable with telling her anything and everything, and you can come home and tell her how stressful your day was while she rubbing your neck while you eating your food or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Each other's safe space.
They each other's safe space, because if you give her that in return, she gonna give you more of it.
Right.
You know, but it's like if you do the same thing, because trust, I was with a man that did that. Yeah. And I told him we could never be together. Ain't no way that I could be in a vulnerable space and tell you something, you know, just out of vulnerability. And then next thing you know, you get mad and I'm crazy. That's why your family got probably bipolar because your grandma you know what I'm saying? Type stuff or whatever to prove your point. Like, ain't no way. But that's a characteristic flaw.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And men and women have it.
Yep.
That's a characteristic.
We do it to each other again. That vicious, nasty cycle.
Yeah, it's like I know.
Oh, I thought it was 100%.
Girl, that's the pencil. But yeah, so it's like if you don't understand, if you don't have, I just feel like both men and women have to evolve. We all need to evolve in our thinking so that we can have better relationships, build better homes, create generational wealth, and actually be there for one another how we were meant to be there for one another.
How we were at one time.
Yeah,
like, honestly, we used to be like
really
this.
For real. Like I think people need to stop being in such a rush and really date and find their divine counterpart and give time in to be able to find if this is that person, if that fit. Like we keep throwing around equally yoked.
I don't think people really know.
But how much time do you take to find that someone is actually equally yoked with you?
And equally yoked can mean a lot of different things. It's not just financial. It's not just, mentality. It's not just moral. It's all of that, to be honest.
All of it.
It's all of that.
You know what I'm saying? Spirituality.
All
of it. Our religion, whatever.
Yeah, but
even, thing, but
sometimes you can get past the religion because you can date people outside.
Because I definitely date people outside my religion.
I date people outside my religion. I don't care about that. But because again, I respect all religions, but I just I couldn't agree more.
But see, with the religion thing of it is, it's about a respect thing.
Yeah, you have to respect each other.
People have to be able to respect. Girl, we just started getting an echo from somewhere. But people got to be able to respect that. Okay, people got to be able to respect that there's truth in everything. You know what I'm saying? So when you're like I think a spiritual person and any type of religious person can be together.
Yeah.
And I think that because most spiritual people understand that there's truth in everything.
Yeah.
So I could sit in the church, I could sit in the kingdom hall, I could sit in the temple, I could sit in the masjid, you know what I'm saying? I could sit in any of these halls of learning, what I call them. I can sit in any of these halls of learning and I'm going to be comfortable enough to be there. You know, I'm not going to be critical of what it is that they're talking about. I know people always look at me, especially when it comes to Christianity. And they be like, you don't know what this girl gonna say, you know, because I didn't got into it with plenty of pastors. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Yeah. I really have, you know, but that's because I feel like they don't teach the Bible like the Bible, you know, and it's like, if you teach the Bible for what the Bible actually says and not how you're interpreting it, then you wouldn't be misleading people.
That's exactly right. The problem is that people are teaching the Bible from their perspective instead of teaching people to read it and come up with their own perspective.
And learning how to decipher the meanings and the allegories and the morals behind what they're actually listening to or whatever. Hey. So that equally yoked thing, but it's like we gotta take the time to find out if somebody is really equally yoked for you. Like people be going into relationships, next thing you know, one day they moved in together within a week, next they having a baby within 6 months, and then they broke up within a year.
And then they hate each other.
So now you got a broken home. You got to put a man, if depending on what type of woman it is, she gonna run to put you on child support. Now you got another man in the system. Now you got another child of a broken home. You got to try to figure out how to co-parent with somebody you don't even like.
Be with. Yeah, you're miserable now, and so that misery is now that energy is being transferred to their child.
Right.
Because whether you're staying together to make it work, because your kid, the kids can feel that.
Right.
Kids can feel when mommy and daddy have tension.
Right. In the household, for real. Energy is felt. You know what I'm saying?
They can feel that. And kids probably feel it like very, very intensely because they're closer to the Most High God, whatever you want to call them. They're closer to him. They can really feel it. And then this is their developmental years too. So you're inflicting trauma now.
Block chakras.
Yeah, like all kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then it's like, you know, but it's like we want something to happen so fast. We want things to happen immediately, you know, and we got to understand that things take time. Like for me personally, I always have to remind myself that, especially when I feel like it's something that I may want forever, you know? Right. And my thing about it is, it's like something that you want forever, you don't want to rush it because you want it to last forever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So there's no need to rush because you got a lifetime. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't going nowhere. So you got to go through these type of stages. Like people don't go through the growth to get to that relationship that I want to say divine counterpart relationship. And the reason that I say it like that is because everybody don't believe in twin flames. Everybody don't believe in soulmates. Everybody don't believe in love at first sight or anything like that. Some people believe like you can grow to love anybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I know you probably
like the people that have arranged marriages, though, you think about they grow to love each other. You know what I'm saying? They be together 50, 60 years or whatever. They couldn't stand, they didn't, you know,
even know each other.
Yeah, but they grow to know each other or whatever. But they start off in a marriage. So what other choice do you have?
Right. I mean, you know, if you think about even medieval times when like the king and the queen, they wouldn't even know these people, and they just send like the Spanish princess would go to England or something, you know what I mean? Like,
but they was doing it more for family,
family
ties and money.
That status. And what is it called? Alliances, like family alliances. So they were bringing families together through marriages, through their children and stuff like that.
So I mean, I guess you can take that approach, but I just feel like we need to evolve to the point where we are not feeding our carnal self. And when I mean by carnal self, that's this human body, these human cravings, you know what I'm saying? Because that physical, like lust is the biggest one. Like lust, is lust one of the seven deadly sins?
It is lust,
like
gluttony,
rage. You know what I'm saying? So lust, and it's crazy because you know, is that strict? I thought they said strict grind. But lust, you know, we talk about we're gonna talk about the seven deadly sins. We're gonna talk about that next week or whatever. Because
not the anime.
Yeah, because that also goes into, I got this thing and I'm gonna send it to you. So then we can start telling them what we're gonna talk about next week because we only got 2 minutes.
That way y'all can have some opinions.
Engage
with us. We want to hear your opinion on it.
Right.
Your thoughts.
This is a conversation, not a lecture. But
be told for a reason.
Yes, but so we talk about those 7 deadly sins and we talk about the lust, you know, but lust is promoted. Because sex sells.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Sex sells. So lust is promoted. It's promoted in the music. It's promoted. It's promoted in your households. You know how many young people, mom, You know how many women or girls, mothers put them on birth control like 13, 14 years old. Just put them on birth control. So if you have, your body's not even ready for it, instead of teaching proper sex education, you're just going to put them on birth control. So if you do have sex, you don't bring no baby home.
Right.
Sex is not all about procreating a baby. It's not, that's not the only thing that it's for. I don't know how much we can go into a conversation over sex, but we'll do it on an after show to next week.
Yeah, we'll do it, like bring our after show back.
Yeah, we'll do the after show next week and we'll talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. Not just so we'll do that, but we'll talk about the 7 different sins of the 7 deadly sins on the Truth Be Told next week. So y'all look those up and have some opinions for next week or whatever when we come in here, and we'll get there and talk about it. Because I know I talk about gluttony all the time. She been with me. I'll be eating. I'm like, dang, I'm full. Then I take one more bite, and then I'll be like, that's gluttony. And I have to stop myself from doing that because a lot of people don't even know what that is.
I need to stop with my rage because I get raged. Like, I get enraged.
And that's another thing. Scary. That's another thing too. It's like we call ourselves these things. We call ourselves religious or spiritual and everything like that. But what are you actually following? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you actually following? Because we cherry pick what we have to follow, what we don't have to follow, what pertains to us or what doesn't pertain to us, type of things like that. It is time for me to go.
And truth be told, all of it does.
Right. So it is time for us to get up out of here. But real quick, before I get up out of here, I just want to leave y'all with the Holy Covenant Asiatic Nation. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and his breast of the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. And when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. Prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brothers in adversity, assist him. If thy sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortune of our Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Peace. Bye, radio. Bye, y'all. See y'all next week, same time next week.
Yep, every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. So, yeah, depending on where you at.
Bye. Bye, Mr. Walker.
Bye.